How many games will the New England Patriots win in 2023? What's going on, Pats Nation? It's Mitch here to give you my record prediction for my New England Patriots and your New England Patriots, giving you my thoughts on each matchup on their schedule in 2023, going game by game, pick by pick, providing you with my record prediction for the Pats in 2023. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and let me know in the comment section below your record for the Patriots this season. Let's go. Will the Patriots have a bounce back season? Let's find out. Week number 1, New England has the Tom Brady game versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are one of the most talented football teams in the NFL, and they can beat you on offense or on defense. I think this is a real challenge to begin the season. Typically, New England does not start playing their best football, but there is a chance that you catch the Eagles at the right time for the same reasons. I will say that New England's defense is going to get a real challenge because I think the Eagles have the best offense in the league from a well-rounded standpoint. I think those are the offenses that give New England the toughest time. The ones that can run it at a high level, the ones that can throw it at a high level, and have a dynamic quarterback that moves. I think that ultimately this will be a close game, but I think the Eagles, with Jalen Hurts scrambling for first downs, running the football, I think he finds a way to pull it out in the end. I think it's going to give you the sign that New England is better this year, but it's just not quite good enough to beat the best of the very best, which I think the Eagles are up there. Then in week number 2, New England plays at home. This is a huge game to win on this schedule because when you look at the first month, you play the Eagles, you play the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Cowboys. If you can't beat the Dolphins at home, that's going to be a real bad sign. Now, New England has struggled to beat Tua, but they have not struggled to stop him. I think he has failed to go over 200 yards numerous times, but the problem has been the offense. Now, they did change their defensive coordinator, which is going to be a bad thing for a lot of the NFL, but I think a good thing for New England because the previous defensive coordinators in Miami were Patriots coaches who understood how to attack New England. And also, the Patriots actually have a respectable OC now with a good coordinator who can actually scheme up and prepare for things. So that helps them. I think New England's defense will be able to actually give the Dolphins offense a lot of problems because they have perfect matchups at cornerback for their fast, quick receivers, and they can get pressure up front. So I think New England wins this game because of their defense. Then in week number 3, they play the Jets. This game could go either way. New England has owned the Jets over the years, but I have enough respect for Aaron Rodgers to say that along with that defense, the Jets finally beat New England on the road. New England will lose to the Jets. So I think the Jets defense, along with Aaron Rodgers, making some plays in the game, some indefensible throws, as he always typically does against New England, I think they win this game. But I could see New England winning just because they kind of own the Jets over the years. And I will say this as well. Robert Saleh has not fared well against Bill Belichick. So if New England does sweep the Jets, I won't be shocked. But I would like to give Aaron Rodgers the respect he is due. Week number 4, the Dallas Cowboys. This is another game that could go either way, but I think the Dallas defense is an issue. I mean, Dallas's defense at home, especially playing on a fast track, is really difficult. They've got really everything you want. I think New England will have to look to run the ball in this game to be efficient. I think their offense in Dallas also has and brings enough balance where, like Philadelphia, it can give some issues to New England where they can stay with the running game with Tony Pollard and then open it up with Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, and company. So I think Dallas wins this game. Dak Prescott also played exceptionally well against Belichick last time they suited up against each other. So I've got the Cowboys. So that means New England's 1-3 at this point. Not looking so good. But the schedule lightens up a little bit in the next 2 games. I think New England beats the Saints at home. This is a must-win game. I think they get it. Typically, Derek Carr has not fared well against the Patriots. Last year was kind of a fluke. I don't know if you remember. But the Saints, I think their defensive front, I think at this point is a little overrated. I think New England can control the game from that standpoint. I also think they're just the more overall talented, well-coached team. Dennis Allen versus Bill Belichick seemingly is a big discrepancy in coaching. So I think New England at home should win this game. Then in week 6, you play the Raiders. I think they get revenge on the Raiders in this game for last year's loss. I think the Raiders defense has some flaws that I think New England can take advantage of with a proper offensive coordinator, which they didn't have last year. Let's just be fair. And then on top of that, Jimmy Garoppolo is a quarterback that Belichick is very familiar with. That does not bode well for the Raiders. So as much as Josh McDaniels has kind of beaten Belichick, I think both times he was a head coach against them, I think this one will fare a little bit differently. Then in week 7, they play the Bills. I think this is a game that New England can win. But what I've said is that I'm not going to allow my bias as a fan and my hope as a fan get in the way of history. And the history suggests so far that the Bills own the Patriots with Josh Allen and Sean McDermott. So I'm going to take the Bills in both matchups against our Patriots again. I think both will be very close. And New England got better. You know, that last game against the Bills, they easily could have won if not for 2 kick returns for touchdowns. Dreadful special teams. I think New England's defense looks about as good as it can to defend Josh Allen this year, and has it looked all, tenure. But I just don't know if we can keep up on the scoreboard if it becomes a shootout. So I think the Bills are going to go with both, but I'm hoping we can win and steal one, especially the one at home. Then week 8, you play the Dolphins in Miami. As Patriots fans, no, that's just a loss. We'll mark it down. We'll move on, okay? It could be the best Patriots team of all time. They still might lose to the Dolphins in Miami. Week number 9, the Washington Commanders. I'm going to take New England. I think there's a big coaching edge there against Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio with their vanilla schemes. Belichick's also done pretty well against Eric Bieniemy offenses in the past. And then on top of that, it's a young quarterback playing a Belichick defense where you could confuse him and get some turnovers. It's a classic Patriots win. The same thing can be said about week 10 where new head coach, new quarterback, Anthony Richardson in an unknown environment in Germany. New England will be more prepared. New England has the better overall team in both of these games, in my opinion. And I think Mac Jones shows his maturity. I don't know if he'll necessarily have big games in these ones, but I think he'll just not lose these games. And I think that's why they'll win. Then they go into the bye week. They play the Giants. Now, this is a tricky game. I could see them losing to the Giants. I think Wink Martindale's scheme, that is going to show how much Bill O'Brien helps us, because Wink Martindale is a very creative defensive coordinator. He sends blitzes from all angles. This will show the maturity of Mac Jones. If he can play well in this game, that is going to speak volumes, because the Giants have a pretty decent defense and they're very creative. Offensively, I feel like Daniel Jones is the type of quarterback where Belichick can take advantage, but he's also deceptively athletic. And if Brian Daboll plays into that athleticism of Daniel Jones, I think New England could struggle in some aspects. Saquon's a problem as well. Their receiving core doesn't have one guy you have to shut down, but it has numerous receivers that are pretty good. This game could really go either way. And given my horror of the Giants logo and just seeing that on my schedule, I'm going to say they lose. Just because I have too many bad nightmares about the New York Giants, okay? Then in week 13, I think New England beats the Chargers. And if anyone tells you any different, I think they're wrong, because New England just beats the Chargers. That's what they do. That's what they live for. And they've owned Justin Herbert so far. I mean, they've destroyed Justin Herbert. So I think that the Patriots win. And I think they win because their defense has a big performance, confusing Justin Herbert once again. And then I think their offense, their steady balance, their good diagnosis of running the football, a little bit of play action. Mac will have a big game here. I think they win. Week 14, the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. This could be a swing game. Definitely could be a game. I think they're going to lose to the Steelers or the Giants. I don't think they're going to lose to both. So I'm going to take New England here. I respect the Steelers, what they are, especially at home. Their defense is nice. Mike Tomlin's a good football coach, but I think Kenny Pickett will struggle in this game. I think that's why New England wins. And Bill O'Brien, I think, will have something for that defense, that secondary that's a little bit, kind of not very good. So I think New England's going to win. Week 15, Kansas City Chiefs at home on Monday Night Football. This is going to be the game where everyone in the comments says you're a biased a-hole, but I'm going to take the Patriots anyways. I think New England matches up with the Chiefs as well as any team in the NFL matches up with the Chiefs. And this doesn't really have so much to do with skill or talent. It has a lot to do with coaching, but it also has a lot to do with philosophy. I think New England has the secondary to match up with the Chiefs and force other players not named Patrick Mahomes to beat you. Belichick has shut out Mahomes in 3 different games in a single half. No one has ever done that before. New England has the pass rush to be able to get there with 4. They have the creativity in their secondary to confuse him and to make him hold on to the ball. They also have an offense that can attack you through the air or on the ground. I think they could control this game. And at home on Monday night, it's the atmosphere that you want for this type of game in New England. Home crowd, very energized. I think New England can win this game. I really do. The Broncos is a tricky one. I could see them falling in this game and losing this game. Denver's always been a tough place, but that was mostly with Tom Brady. I just think Russell Wilson is too inconsistent. I'm going to take New England. This game could go either way, though. I'm not going to lie. And then in the final week of the season, I think New England settles this matchup. It's very difficult to win in New England, especially if you're the Jets late in January or early in January, late December. And it's probably going to be cold. I'm going to take the Patriots at home. So ultimately, I have New England with a 10-7 record. I could see them winning 11 games. I could see them winning 8 or 9 games. I settled at 10. I could see them sweeping the Jets, as I suggested. I could see them beating Dallas. I could see them beating the Bills once. I could see them losing to the Steelers or the Broncos and the Chiefs. But ultimately, I think this is a good balance of what I expect. I think they're going to be somewhere around 9 to 11 wins. I think they're a much better team than a lot of people give them credit for. I think their defense will be one of the best in football, which will keep them in every game. I think their coaching got back to being elite with the addition of Bill O'Brien. And I feel like their roster is underrated because of how poorly the coaching showed itself last year. So that is my projection right now, is 10-7 for New England against this really difficult schedule. And they'll be somewhere in the middle of the AFC East when it's all said and done. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Mitch. Gronk, spike the like button. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.